Look at him.
And that's a real shame when folks be throwing away a perfectly good white boy like that.
Welcome to the Nation of Jake on The Voice, KWAM, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
Yes, sir.
Yes, have some.
All right, welcome to it, the Nation of Jake on The Voice, FM 107.9, AM 990. We're online, KWAMTheVoice.com. That Listen Live link is in the top right corner. Also on YouTube Live, the channel Nation of Jake, one word, Nation of Jake. Run that all together on the YouTube channel. Subscribe and tell your friends all about the Nation of Jake. Also, follow on Facebook and on Twitter at Nation of Jake on this Tuesday, July 30th, year of our Lord 2019. Cloudy, overcast, gray, 83 degrees, high of 88. But at least it's dry today. Yesterday, got caught up in a monsoon, trying to get to my car from my kid's karate class, got soaking wet. Then they had the two little ones. And the puddles, go up to these kids' knees. So they're trudging through all the water in the parking lot. Then we get home, and then last night we started hearing the tornado sirens out in Germantown. And I live about 75 yards from the tornado sirens. All right, and we are programmed to hear that at noon on Saturday. At noon on Saturday in Germantown, you can hear the air raid sirens, and you're fine with it. But when you hear it during dinner, you're like, uh-oh. So my wife and I are sitting across from my daughters. The tornado siren goes off, and my wife just says the word tornado. And then my 7-year-old daughter gets really worried. She gets really upset. And I said, no. And I'm looking at my wife like, why would you do that? Why would you scream tornado in front of two small children, 7 and 5 years old? Because my 7-year-old, she gets a little squirrely when it comes to thunder and lightning. Very, very frightening. My 5-year-old just asked for a cookie. So it was kind of a madhouse, a scene. I do have to thank one man, Joey Sullipeck, from Fox 13. He's the chief meteorologist. You know Joey. Joey's a Memphis guy, went to Craigmont High School, used to wear a bow tie, has now eschewed the bow tie for regular conventional neckties. Joey Sullipeck was on Facebook. He said that there is a malfunctioning siren going off in Germantown, that there were no tornado warnings for the area. So I showed that to my daughter. I made her read it out loud, and she was okay. So my wife screaming tornado at the dinner table, I have to thank Joey Sullipeck for undoing that madness going on last night. I hope you were safe. Hope you didn't get caught into that. So that was a lot of excitement with the weather. So tonight, it's debate night in America. Another two-night event with the 2020 Democrat field. CNN has their debate preview. There'll be half of the candidates tonight, the other half tomorrow night. And they've also provided us with fun facts about the candidates, none of which are really fun at all. We'll get into that in just a little bit. I haven't heard a lot from the 2020 Democrats because everyone's been busy defending Baltimore from the mean words tweeted by the president. That is still going on. President Donald Trump and Representative Elijah Cummings, who tweets in the third person, they've been going back and forth and back over the state of Baltimore. It's rat-infested, it's crime-ridden, high levels of poverty and corruption, and now Democrats are defending Baltimore. Donald Trump is forcing Democrats to defend failing Democrat policies and also forcing Democrats to side with a guy like Al Sharpton. And that's basically what Donald Trump has done, all at the expense of not hearing from your 2020 field. Who has heard a thing from these people other than the fact that Bernie Sanders said the same thing 4 years ago about Baltimore? That's really all you've seen. So we'll get into that in a little bit as well. And we've got updates on the hashtag equal pay fight for U.S. women's soccer. We've got a fact sheet, an audit by some accountants on women's soccer, the United States Soccer Federation, what they pay women versus what they pay men, and you might be surprised at what they claim. Now, these claims need to be vetted, but if true, this could turn its whole equal pay fight on its ear. And don't forget the radio trade rumors. That's right, the radio trading deadline is tomorrow. So I may be here through tomorrow, but depending on what kind of deals get done, I may not be here on Thursday. I may get traded, hopefully, to a country station, because I think I could probably... I've never worked for a country station before. I'm thinking I could stretch my legs a little bit, because country's the new pop. All right, so we'll get into that and the news cruise as well. So, plenty to get to on the agenda for today in the Nation of Jake. Now we've got a local story that's making national headlines. You heard about it in our CBS News update there at the top of the hour. This is a trending topic online. It's this shooting at the South Haven Walmart. This account from the Daily Memphian. A Walmart employee who fellow employees said was suspended or fired a day earlier returned to the South Haven store on Goodman Road early Tuesday and opened fire, according to police, killing 2 people and injuring a police officer. So we have what seems to be a disgruntled employee or former employee going back to his place of employment and taking some sort of vengeance. All right, the 2 killed have not been identified. I believe one has. I think we have here, according to Shay Arthur from WREG, the father of Brandon Gales confirms he was shot and killed this morning at the South Haven Walmart. 38 years old was Brandon Gales, leaves behind 3 children, worked at Walmart for 15 or 16 years. They say he was a nice guy, well known in the Hernando community. Awful news this morning from South Haven. So the unidentified suspect was wounded as well and taken to Regional 1 Hospital. Now we have this. The shootings add South Haven and the Memphis metro area to the long and growing list of mass shootings in business, workplaces, and other venues nationwide. Now, and this is why this is national news, is because they want to add it to the list of mass shootings. Now, I don't want to take away or downplay the awful nature of this crime, but we need to get on the same page as what constitutes as a mass shooting. I mean, I think there's a big difference between somebody who goes and shoots up a school or a garlic festival in Northern California, seemingly indiscriminate shooting, which kills people with no kind of motive known. The Las Vegas shooting from a couple years back, still no motive. The guy who shot up the country music festival there. We don't know much about what motivated the guy over the weekend to shoot up that garlic festival in Northern California. But because we are in this news cycle where they like to take stories that seemingly relate to one another and weave them together and cause this panic, cause this whole, add it to the list of mass shootings without considering what the motives might have been. And by the way, we have shootings all the time in Memphis and the Mid-South. Multiple victims in shootings. The way these things are reported, it's really interesting. There could be studies done on the way that shootings are reported. Hell, every Monday, I read about a deadly weekend in Memphis. People getting shot all the time. But when it happens at a Walmart in South Haven with a disgruntled former employee or somebody who's been suspended, it gets reported differently. And then it's added to the list as if this particular situation is anything like the one in Northern California where a 6-year-old boy was shot by a seemingly mad gunman at a garlic festival. Completely different situations. I'm not sure that they should be lumped together, but it's trending for a reason, and that's why. We've got South Haven Mayor Darren Musselwhite described the suspect in the case as a disgruntled employee or former employee. We've got some audio here from Mayor Musselwhite. Let's see if we can get this going.
Talk to us about when you first got the call about what was going on, what was going through your mind.
Well, I mean, it's obviously the worst call you can get, at that time of day, and Chief called me, so we, obviously all made the scene. It's your worst nightmare. It's not something any mayor or any city wants to experience.
What has the hours been like since then as you gather more information regarding the magnitude?
Well, I would just say that all the law enforcement agencies did an incredible job. Everybody was on the scene. Our police really showed their guts today. If it hadn't been for their efforts, there'd have been more lives lost. So I'm extremely proud of my police officers. Also very appreciative of the other law enforcement agencies from the county and state that showed up to help.
Have you been able to talk to any of the families of these victims?
No, we have not.
Can you tell us the circumstances of the suspect being suspended or fired from the
Well,
work?
as police chief said, the details of the incident, I'm going to wait and let him address all that. Basically, just want to express today that we're extremely sorry. For the family and friends of the victims, it's just it's a terrible event. Prayers go up for them, but I'm extremely proud of the way South Haven first responders handled
Can
it.
you talk about the...
There you go. Mayor Darren Musselwhite of South Haven addressing the situation. They said they got a 911 call, and police got there. They found about 60 employees in the store when they arrived and began seeking the suspect. They found the suspect in the west parking lot. One officer was shot before another officer returned gunfire, striking the suspect twice. I guess they're neutralizing the threat. One interesting thing about this is the employee said the suspect allegedly pulled a knife on a customer Monday and was suspended or fired by management. He returned Tuesday and opened fire on employees. So this employee, who is unidentified, the gunman in this situation at the Walmart in South Haven, he pulled a knife on a customer, and I guess he was fired or suspended. It would have been nice if somebody had called the police after he threatened somebody with a knife. Maybe there would have been some sort of action taken. Maybe it would have been taken downtown South Haven, maybe to the police station, maybe locked up for a little while, get to think about what he did. Because threatening somebody with a knife, pulling a knife on someone, brandishing a weapon is against the law. I mean, if you were caught urinating on the potatoes at Walmart, as an employee, you might get suspended or fired for that kind of thing. When you pull a weapon on somebody and threaten a customer, that kind of crawls into the illegal side of things, and you should call the authorities. So we have a disgruntled employee bringing a gun to work and opening fire. And I'll say this, it could have been a lot worse had the South Haven Police Department not gotten to the scene and neutralized the threat. So hats off to those guys. Again, I'm not trying to downplay what happened here. That said, whenever a mass shooting happens, and we see these a lot, and they get linked together as part of a narrative in the media, I think what puts us, what makes us uneasy with this is when we don't know. When we don't know why. When we don't know the reasoning. When seemed like a nice guy who had no idea he had this many problems. When a Parkland happens, when a Columbine happens, I mean, we're scared because, oh my God, what would make somebody do something like this? But then when you peel back the layers, you go, oh, this guy had some problems. The folks at Walmart, management knew he had some problems. He pulled a knife on an employee or a customer. And then he went back to his employee. He was upset and angry. And not dismissing, not excusing what he did. But the fact that it's added to the list of mass shootings, I think that's a little bit overboard. And see, when you read accounts of this stuff, whether it's a Daily Memphian, whether it's the Commercial Appeal, you got to read with that critical eye. You got to pick out things like that because they're going to try to make it as part of this broad narrative with a political agenda when it doesn't really fit. It's just like a lot of other stories that we read. Let's talk about the Baltimore thing. President Trump tweets about Baltimore. And so criticizing the rats, the infestation of rodents in Baltimore with all the problems, the crime and the poverty and the corruption, all of a sudden Donald Trump's racist. And it's like, well, that's not all of a sudden. It's weaving together everything else that he said. And it's like, oh, if you take it all as a whole, then you say, oh, that's right in line. It must be because he's racist. You see, and that thing's still going on. There's been a call and a response and a call and a response. There's been Trump tweeting. Elijah Cummings has come back and criticized Donald Trump. So where we are on Baltimore and the defense of Baltimore, we will get into that and hopefully put it to rest when we get back right here in the Nation of Jake.
The Voice. Voice, KWAM, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
If you're thinking about buying or selling a home, stop. Don't do anything until you talk to my man, James Underwood. James Underwood has been helping people like you navigate the Mid-South real estate market for more than a decade. So whether you're looking to buy your first home or you want to upgrade to your forever home, James Underwood can help make it happen. No gimmicks, no guarantees, just a rock-solid guy that I've known for 25 years. So now, if you're looking to buy or sell a home, hit up James Underwood with CryLike. JamesUnderwood.crylike.com. That's JamesUnderwood.crylike.com.
I talk with healthcare professionals to bring you the latest wellness information Tuesdays and Thursdays on Live Life Well. Listen in and get tips like this to help you get started on your road to wellness.
You have to commit to seeing what you've been doing, taking ownership of what hasn't been working, and committing to make a change. Because a lifestyle change is something that you're going to have to work at.
I'm Bernadette Davis, and I've got you covered every Tuesday and Thursday on Live Life Well. Listen in during the Mary Beth Conley Show on AM 990 and streaming live on KWAMTheVoice.com.
Triumph Bank strives to make banking easy for our customers. You have a lot of choices when it comes to banks, so we invite you to visit one of our local offices in Memphis, Germantown, Collierville, and Arlington to see for yourself how our team, backed by our state-of-the-art online and mobile services, can simplify banking for you and your business. Triumph Bank, invested in our communities and making banking easy for you. Triumph is a member of the FDIC and an equal housing lender. TriumphBank.com. Let's talk growth.
Love everything about cars? Then check out my show, Auto Talk Live. I'll talk about everything automotive, from new cars to cool tech and car buying tips. Your escape from politics, reality shows, and everyday life. It's educational and entertaining. So join me, JP Palooga, every Friday from 8 to 9 a.m. for Auto Talk Live. Live on KWAM The Voice, FM 107.9, AM 990.
Did you know that your potential customers look at your website and determine your credibility within 8 seconds? Make sure your business reflects the quality service you provide. Contact Control-Alt Design for a free quote today. Today's marketplace is very competitive, and you need a professional web presence. Control-Alt Design offers web design at a fraction of what the larger firms charge. Control-Alt Design has been helping local businesses stand out on the web for over 20 years. They also offer logo design, business card design, flyers, brochures, and more. See their work today at ControlAltDesign.com.
If you're a baby boomer here in the Mid-South area, this message is for you. We've designed a brand new radio show with you in mind. It's The Retirement Income Doctor, hosted by Dave McAdams of the McAdams Group. Each week, Dave will teach you retirement strategies that have worked year after year, decade after decade, in any kind of market. That's right, the Retirement Income Doctor will teach you these strategies. So join us Saturday mornings at 10 for the Retirement Income Doctor.
Hi everybody, I'm Jack Hanna. Since I was a boy growing up on a farm in Tennessee, I've been fascinated with animals. I'm not only in awe of their beauty and kindness, but also their tireless work ethic. Just look at the birds who gather supplies to build nests, or Swiss foxes who work hard to provide for their young, or penguins who travel up to 500 miles to secure food for their families, or bush babies whose impressive jump allows them to navigate the trees in the wild in search of fruit. This remarkable work ethic is shared by our best friends, the canines. We know dogs are wonderful pets at home, but because of their acute senses, they also perform life-saving work every day. Dogs keep us safe at airports. They comfort returning veterans, some of whom suffer from PTS. They work with diabetics, alerting them when there's a change in their blood chemistry. Working dogs have a variety of highly trained roles that contribute to society and help those in need. So please join me and American Humane in supporting our heroic working dogs and all the amazing animals on this planet we inhabit together. Go to AmericanHumane.org to learn more.
Don't miss Maine and Mulberry Live every Thursday morning at 8 right here on KWAM The Voice. Maine and Mulberry Live explores the crossroads of modernization and small-town tradition, exemplified in Collierville, Tennessee. Host Keith Essery sits down with local entrepreneurs, thriving businesses, city officials, and thought leaders right here every Thursday at 8 a.m. Tune in and learn how a town comes of age with economic growth. Maine and Mulberry Live is brought to you by John Green & Company Realtors, building neighbors for 40 years.
Our daughter Emmy was just 19 months old. I'm Bodie Miller, and this is my wife Morgan.
She was such a bright light in our lives. While visiting a friend's house, Emmy drowned in a pool. She slipped out the back door, and in the space of minutes, she was gone.
Drowning is the single leading cause of death in children ages 1 to 4.
We believe it should be the number one thing parents think about when it comes to safety.
Drowning is preventable.
This is urgent. Please talk with your pediatrician about how to keep your child safe.
All right, welcome back.
Yes, have some.
The Nation of Jake on The Voice, FM 107.9, AM 990. We're online, KWAMTheVoice.com. Streaming live on YouTube as we speak. Go to YouTube. And the Nation of Jake channel is very simple to find. Nation of Jake, one word. Run it all together, Nation of Jake. Facebook and Twitter as well, at Nation of Jake. In a little bit, we've got some data. We've got some facts about this equal pay fight with U.S. women's soccer. After they won the World Cup, Megan Rapinoe was on every channel talking about equal pay. And it turns out that women and men are not paid equally. I think we knew that, but it might surprise you as to what we actually find out from U.S. soccer. All right, that's coming up in a little bit, but this Baltimore thing rages on. All right, we've got this dust-up between President Trump and Representative Elijah Cummings of the 7th District of Maryland, which includes most of Baltimore City. I think that Elijah Cummings is the head of the House Oversight Committee. He was criticizing Donald Trump's work on the border. Talking about these border camps, the ones that AOC calls concentration camps. It's overcrowded. And Donald Trump fired back, hey, those people on the border are living in better conditions than people in your district. Your district is infested with rats and rodents. It's a mess. It's disgusting. So you need to clean up your own backyard before you start calling my baby ugly, essentially. I mean, those aren't the exact words. So that was decried as racist because Representative Elijah Cummings is black, and many of the residents of Baltimore are black. So what does he mean by a disgusting rat and rodent-infested mess? Of course he means black and brown people. He does not mean literal rats and rodents, does he? Well, yes, he does. Because now you've got camera crews and people going to all these neighborhoods, especially in West Baltimore, talking about, oh yeah, the rats and rodents have been a problem for a long time. In fact, the city distributes literature like brochures on how to keep the rats out of the neighborhoods. And it's, hey, take your trash out. But then all the video that I see, all the photos that I see of West Baltimore, there's trash everywhere. I guess the municipal trash pickup isn't effective or efficient. It's a mess. And it's a lot of crime and a lot of poverty and a lot of corruption. And that's another thing. And Donald Trump points out that billions of federal dollars have been poured into Elijah Cummings' district, and nothing gets better. Nothing gets better. Somehow, in these Democrat strongholds, these cities like Baltimore and Chicago and Cleveland and Memphis, a lot of these folks in these cities like to blame Republicans and right-wing conservatives for the problems of the inner cities. And you say, hold on a second. All these places have been Democrat strongholds since the 60s. We're talking about 50 plus years of 100% Democrat control. So with Baltimore, if you want to look at some of the recent trials and tribulations, the Baltimore got on the radar a few years ago with this Freddie Gray case. Now, just from memory, I remember Freddie Gray was arrested. He allegedly had a knife or something, and he got thrown in the back of a police wagon or a truck, paddy wagon, call it what you will. And I think that the driver of the van, they didn't secure him properly, and they gave him a rough ride, and that he got thrown around in the back of that police truck, and that he eventually died of injuries that he suffered. All right, so the police allegedly were negligent, and they didn't secure his safety. Now, if you want to go through, with all these people screaming racism about what Donald Trump said about the corruption and the crime in Baltimore, they want to call him a racist. But everybody involved in the Freddie Gray situation, everybody involved from the top down were black. All right? The president at the time was Barack Obama. The mayor of Baltimore was a black person. the DA at the time was a black person, Eric Holder, or the Attorney General, I should say the AG, everybody running the show. The Chief of Police, 3 of the 6 police officers charged in the Freddie Gray case, and the judge who found them not guilty. So it's kind of like, look, I mean, it's been run by Democrats for a long time with a lot of minority representation in that city government for a long, long time. So look, if you want to argue Donald Trump is a racist and has said a lot of racist things, therefore this is also racist, then it's a flawed argument, but I mean, feel free to have it. But if you just take what he's saying about Baltimore, this was not racist to call out Elijah Cummings for his district. Now, Elijah Cummings doesn't run Baltimore. Elijah Cummings represents Baltimore. He doesn't run it. The last 3 mayors of Baltimore have had to resign in disgrace. But Elijah Cummings, you can criticize Elijah Cummings and say, hey, look, man, maybe you should focus on your district because there's a lot of problems over there. But he doesn't run Baltimore. So Baltimore being a crime-infested, rat and rodent-infested area that nobody wants to live in, it's not necessarily Elijah Cummings' fault, but it should be important to him because those are his constituents. And so and Trump's also saying, look, you've taken billions of dollars in federal money back to your district. All that pork, and they still can't do anything with it. So what's the problem here? So it's all political. It was a defense of his work down on the border. Now, Donald Trump is saying, in response to all of this,
I am the least racist person there is anywhere in the world. When con men, who I've known almost all my business life, because I had to deal with him, unfortunately, in New York, but I got along with him, Al Sharpton. Now, he's a racist. He's a racist.
So basically, I'm not a racist. I'm the least racist person in the history of the world, and Al Sharpton is the racist. No, I'm not. You are. So you've got this. Honestly, what it's done is Donald Trump has, look, knowingly or unknowingly, intentionally or unintentionally, he's making everybody go and defend the bad policies of Baltimore and the terrible result they've gotten as a result of those bad policies. And now people like Elizabeth Warren, who will be on the debate stage, I believe, tonight on CNN, has now aligned herself with Al Sharpton, as has Kamala Harris. Everybody is lauding Al Sharpton as this great community leader. And then Donald Trump will say things like, oh, yeah, people from Baltimore are calling me. They're calling me and thanking me for exposing the corruption in Baltimore, specifically in the African-American communities. President Trump is saying that the African-American community is saying thank you for drawing all this attention to the corruption and crime and living conditions in Baltimore. And now to that, there are many people, many African-Americans are saying, wait a second, who called Trump on behalf of all the African-Americans? Well, it's like, all right, well, if you want to take it that way, you could say, who made Al Sharpton in charge of all African-American voices? I've never understood that. How Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson became the spokespeople for all black people everywhere. Just like Donald Trump has somehow become the voice for all white people. It's not true. Everybody has different views. Everybody speaks for themselves. So it's absurd that this has been going on for almost a week now. This started bubbling up on Friday. I mean, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 5 days. And they're still talking about Baltimore. And what's going to happen is there's going to be a big push to fix Baltimore. Just like Rudy Giuliani did in New York. New York was a mess for years and years and years. Years and years and years and years. It was dangerous. In the 70s, there's trash everywhere, rats and rodents. It was known as being kind of a hole, right? Rudy Giuliani, you got in. New York's a nice place now. New York's an excellent place to go. I liked my time visiting New York. I had no problems walking around. I felt perfectly safe in New York. There's a way to fix it. The right people in charge, the right leaders can fix it. And then there's this op-ed in the USA Today I thought was relevant. This is from James Robbins, who I guess served in the Bush administration at some point. The president is right about Baltimore. Are Democrats really prepared to defend failure? Ask yourself honestly, would you ever consider living in West Baltimore And are you racist if you say no? Baltimore ranks in the top 10 of the least livable cities in America. Until this week, it was not controversial to point that out. But now, President Donald Trump has tweeted about Baltimore. It seems as though anyone who criticizes the awful conditions there is opening themselves up to charges of prejudice. So we all know how it started. We all know where we are now. No, I'm not racist. You're racist. That's it. I'm not racist. You're racist. That's the whole of the argument in 2019, is that we can't have a nuanced discussion on any issue, because if you criticize the wrong person, then you get called a racist. And it's tiring, and people are sick of it, I think. I think they're done. I think they've just kind of checked out. And I hope you have not checked out. But we will move on from Baltimore City, hopefully forever. Unless there's a new Clutch record or something like that coming out, some good news out of Baltimore. I will look, if the Orioles go to the World Series, I don't even know where they are in the standings right now. I highly doubt they're anywhere close. But if the Orioles are in the series, or maybe the Baltimore Ravens can get through a season without one of their players punching his wife, maybe we'll talk about Baltimore then. I do want to move on to this. Very interesting stuff out of U.S. soccer. All right. The hashtag equal pay fight with the women's national team after they won the World Cup. They're on every news channel who will give them a microphone talking about equal pay, equal pay, equal pay. Well, it comes out now that women and men are not paid equally, and you might be surprised as to who gets paid more. That's coming up next right here in the Nation of Jake.
The Voice, KWAM, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
CBS News Update. President Trump attending ceremonies in Jamestown, Virginia, marking 400 years of the rise of American democracy.
Right here in Virginia, your predecessors.
You can't send us back. Virginia is our home. Mr. President.
A heckler interrupting, holding up signs reading "Deport hate and go back to your corrupted home." Black state lawmakers had also boycotted the event, upset about the president's recent war of words with Congressman Elijah Cummings. CBS's Molly Hooper.
When I would talk to members on Capitol Hill and ask them what they think of it, a lot of eye rolling by Republicans and wishing that the president hadn't gone this far or in this direction. What is positive, I guess, the best thing that you could say for Republicans at this point is that the House is out on recess. So you'll probably not see too many Republicans weighing in on this.
A new poll found 51% of respondents think the president is a racist, something he vehemently denies. CBS News Update. I'm Jim Shenevey.
Whatever you may be interested in, chances are you can find some valuable information in the July edition of The Best Times, now available on your local newsstand. Don't miss articles about elder abuse, the dangers of using marijuana, the value of lifelong learning, the myth of taking vitamin D to reduce development of type 2 diabetes, which CDs are best for you, legal documents that everyone should have to protect their assets, and so much more. The Best Times is available at all Kroger and CVS pharmacies. Get your copy today.
This is Clark Howard. If you want an example of how broken medicine is in the United States, just look at what's happening to people who have diabetes, where the cost of insulin in the United States is being manipulated higher and higher and higher by the drug manufacturers. So much so that this summer there was a highly publicized caravan of Americans who traveled to Canada to buy insulin for a tiny fraction of what the cost of insulin is here in the United States. I'm stunned that there are fellow Americans who are diabetics, that insulin is a life-saving med for them, that are not able to buy and take their insulin because of the run-up in cost. We in the United States have got to fix this thing, but if you are someone who cannot afford your insulin, know that our neighbors to the north have an adequate supply that's available to you at a much lower price.
Have you heard what President Trump said recently?
Newsmax, you like Newsmax. I like it too.
Now you can watch Newsmax TV and get the truth about Trump from Bill O'Reilly, Mike Reagan, Alan Dershowitz, Pat Buchanan, and more. Newsmax TV is America's fastest growing cable news channel, now in 70 million homes. Find Newsmax on DirecTV, Dish, Xfinity, Spectrum, Optimum, Fios, Uverse, and more systems. See Newsmax TV today. It's real news. news for real people.
Hey, Mike, how's the house coming along? Needs a ton of work. The pipes are leaking. Needs a new roof. The AC just broke. I just don't have time to do it all myself. You know anyone? Oh, just ask Home Advisor. They match you with the best local pros for any home project. Cool. Yeah, you can read reviews and book appointments online. What's it cost? Actually, Home Advisor is always free to use. Nice. I'll check it out.
Go to HomeAdvisor.com or download the free app.
Home Advisor.
All right, welcome back to it.
Yes, have some.
Yes, the Nation of Jake on The Voice. FM 107.9 AM 990 for now. Who knows? I could get traded. Hopefully maybe to a country station. I don't know, maybe back to rock station for me. I don't know, hip-hop. I could do old school hip-hop. I love Run DMC. We need a metal station in town. Maybe I'll start one of those. Who knows? Go into business for myself. Not sure how good the metal business is these days. I can make a few bucks, I suppose. All right, so a little bit of more of the radio trade rumors as the deadline approaches in a little bit. Also, I want to tell you about a guy I saw outside of the ATC Fitness in Germantown. This guy is either really confused, he's an idiot maybe, or he's brilliant. He's a genius. We'll bat that around in a few. I wanted to get back to this. We talked for days, seemingly, about the hashtag equal pay fight for U.S. women's soccer. Now, if I recall, it was that U.S. men's national team, even though they never make the World Cup and they blow, they get $250,000 a game to play soccer, or $250,000 a year. I think $250,000 a season is their average payout for playing soccer, while the U.S. women make about $100,000. All right, now listen, the U.S. team, it's all exhibition. You still got to go out and play professional soccer somewhere. Men play the MLS or Premier League or something, and then women play in the USWL, United States Women's League. All right, so there's a lot that kind of goes into it, but the women's team is really good. They've won a bunch of World Cups. They're stars, man. Megan Rapinoe and Alex Morgan and Julie Ertz. You know, all these names that you know on the women's team. And they've been saying they want equal pay. You see their tweets. They got their hashtag equal pay shirts. You got Megan Rapinoe, the captain of the team, one of three captains, along with Carly Lloyd and Alex Morgan. She is on MSNBC talking to Rachel Maddow about equal pay and how much she hates Donald Trump, right? I mean, that's kind of just a refresher course on the whole U.S. women's soccer hashtag equal pay fight. Well, the head of U.S. soccer is now involved in this whole court case because the women's team is suing U.S. soccer for equal pay. Essentially, they have this collective bargaining agreement that they don't like anymore. They agreed to the terms of their salary or their payment, or however you want to put it, and now they're saying, wait, we don't like this anymore, and we don't want to wait to renegotiate our collective bargaining agreement. We want to sue you and get equal pay now. Well, it's come out. There's an open letter from the head of U.S. Soccer, the United States Soccer Federation, Carlos somebody. Carlos's name escapes me. I didn't print out Carlos's name. But the head of U.S. Soccer is a guy named Carlos, I suppose. I'm sure I could find this very easily if I wanted to. I apologize to Carlos and his family if I can't find it right now, and I'm not going to. I mean, it's somewhere in front of me. I just don't know where it is. So that said, we've established his name is Carlos. He sent a open letter to everybody, kind of explaining where they are on this. And attached to that open letter, there's a fact sheet. Okay? A fact sheet about what women are paid to play soccer for the U.S. national team versus what men are paid to play for the U.S. national team. This fact sheet is based on U.S. Soccer's staff's extensive analysis of the past decade of U.S. Soccer's financials, which include Form 990 filings with the IRS, as well as financial statements that have been audited yearly by an independent accounting firm. This analysis also included the women's and men's respective collective bargaining agreements, CBAs, and salary information based on actual player W-2 filings and player payroll, which are routinely reviewed by the players' associations. This fact sheet is the result of that analysis. This fact sheet, in turn, has been reviewed by an independent accounting firm. So, everything is on the up and up with this fact sheet. Now, I don't know that this has been vetted by, say, the players' associations. It will be, or it'll just be denounced as bunk or a ruse, which it already has, because the players' association is on the side of the players. They want what the players want, and the players want hashtag equal pay. Carlos Cordeiro is the name of the gentleman in charge of U.S. soccer here. So, with regards to compensation, again, women make $100,000, men make $250,000. So, the men make 125% more than the women. That's the bottom line when you listen to Megan Rapinoe. Here we have from the fact sheet. Compensation. Over the past decade, U.S. soccer has paid our women's national team more than our men's national team. What? No. I was told that the men make 125% more than the women, and that's unfair, hashtag equal pay. Well, this fact sheet says otherwise. From 2010 through 2018, U.S. soccer paid our women $34.1 million in salaries and game bonuses, and we paid our men $26.4 million, not counting the significant additional value of various benefits that our women's players receive, but which our men do not. There are several reasons for this. Number one, different pay structures. Our men and women national team, the players do indeed have different pay structures, but this has nothing to do with gender. Rather, each of the teams have negotiated for different compensation models under their respective CBA, collective bargaining agreement. Guaranteed salary for women. Under their CBA, the women have chosen to have a guaranteed salary. U.S. Soccer therefore pays each women's national team contracted player a base salary of $100,000 a year. In contrast, the men's national team players have no guaranteed salary and are only paid for the training camps they attend and the games they play, plus game bonuses. In addition, U.S. Soccer also pays women national team contracted players a $67,000 to $72,000 salary for playing in the National Women's Soccer League. So, U.S. Soccer foots the bill for the USWL. I did not know that. I thought that was an independent league. So they also not only get the $100,000 for playing on the U.S. Women's National Team, they get up to $72,000 more for playing in the USWL. In contrast, we do not pay salaries for men who play in Major League Soccer or any other men's professional leagues. They do not underwrite any men's professional league, so the opportunity to make that extra $72,500 for men is not there. In other words, U.S. Soccer guarantees women who also play in the NWSL a base salary of $167,500 to $172,500 per year, atop which they can earn game and tournament bonuses. Again, although players on the men's national team can earn larger bonuses, they are guaranteed nothing. They have a different contract structure. So, if you play for the men's national team, you're guaranteed nothing. You eat what you kill. If you get on the women's national team, you get a guaranteed $167,500. That's new. Did not know that. Guaranteed benefits for women. Above and beyond the guaranteed salaries mentioned, U.S. Soccer provides women players with a robust package of benefits that are not provided to men. These benefits include fully paid health, dental, and vision insurance, severance, 401k retirement plan, paid maternity leave, guaranteed injury protection, assistance with childcare. All that stuff gets included. So, I mean, what are they getting now? None of that stuff do the men get. Again, under their contract, our men's players receive none of these benefits. The hypothetical per game comparison, the widely reported claim that women players currently earn only 38 cents for every dollar earned by the men is false. This claim is based on out-of-date numbers that do not reflect that our women players actually earn today. In particular, it overlooks the guaranteed salaries described above, and it goes on and on and on. So, as far as salary structure and guaranteed money, the women are guaranteed more money than the men, and they've outperformed them, and they've been better at it. And maybe if the men got that kind of deal, the same deal the women get, maybe they would be more motivated to go and play harder for the national team. They get health insurance. they get guaranteed injury protection? Because here's the thing. The women really don't have any other market to play in. Now with this information that U.S. Soccer runs the NWSL. It's the same organization. And you're getting $167.5 to play on both the U.S. national team and then also USWL. So this obviously is going to be derided as a ruse, as nonsense by the Players Association. But look, this will get vetted. New York Times has written about this now. I got this right from the U.S. Soccer website. So again, yeah, it does need to be vetted. And then somebody, if they're honest, will vet it, and they'll either say, hey, this doesn't tell the whole story, this is cherry-picked, or, hey, this actually is a really good point, and the women need to get some different shirts. And maybe the men will look at this and go, oh, hey, they are getting a better deal. That's what we want. And then when your collective bargaining agreement is up, you can renegotiate. That's how these things work. But this is kind of, if true, if all this stuff is true, this fact sheet indeed is fact, then it's kind of embarrassing and kind of blows a hole in the whole hashtag equal pay argument set forth by Megan Rapinoe and her crew. So I just thought it was interesting, getting the facts, it kind of, getting all the whole story kind of changes things, doesn't it? So that's the latest on that. I know that you were concerned about U.S. women's soccer and these people making over $100,000 a year to go play 20 games and to go drink and be famous. So that's the latest on that. I do want to tell you about this guy I saw at the gym. Either he's a complete moron or he's a genius. I haven't decided yet. I'm going to run it by you next right here in the Nation of Jake.
The Voice, KWAM, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
Hey everybody, Michelle Calhoun here. I am the host of a new show called The Power of Her Story, where I'll be interviewing female business owners all over the Memphis area every Tuesday morning at 8 a.m. I believe that when we share women's stories, it empowers more women to write their own. Follow me on Instagram at The Power of Her Story.
The Power of Her Story is brought to you in part by these great sponsors: Brown Properties, 901 eLearn, and its Patreon community.
The special event florist for the Mid-South is Lynn Doyle Flowers. They are famous for creating incredible floral arrangements and are available to fill even your last-minute needs. From the simple to the magnificent, their staff can create unique arrangements for your special occasion. Flowers always bring a smile, make someone's day, and for fast, convenient delivery, call Lynn Doyle Flowers today at 901-323-4521 or visit their beautiful new location at 6225 Old Poplar Pike.
Stop everything you're doing right now and ask yourself, are you currently receiving steady paychecks? What about when you're retired? Will you receive a monthly check to cover your expenses and also have some fun? Dan Groban and Phil Menard at Servant Advisors Group call this mailbox money. It's the monthly check you'll receive throughout retirement. They want to help remove stress from your retirement. They don't want you to worry about if the money will show up or how much money you'll receive. The only thing they want you to think about is how to spend it when it arrives. Find out how to get enough money in your mailbox every month when you're retired. Call Servant Advisors Group at 855-260-1000 for a complimentary retirement analysis with strategies that could help your nest egg provide you monthly income you'll need in retirement. Call right now, 855-260-1000. Servant Wealth Management is a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Servant Advisors Group, LLC. Insurance licensed in Tennessee, Mississippi, and in Arkansas.
When's the last time you looked at the windows in your house? Not through the windows, but at the windows. Really looked at them. There's dirt, streaks, buildup, smudges, fingerprints, paw prints, spider webs, dead bugs. There's little white speckles. I have no idea what they are, and who knows what else. Now, cleaning all the windows in your house makes a big difference, but it's also a big job. That's why you need Just Windows Home Services. Just Windows has been taking the pain out of window cleaning since 1992. Just Windows cleans all types of windows, storm windows, screens, skylights, interior, exterior, upstairs and down. Now, I know I told you the company is called Just Windows Home Services, but they do a lot more. Roof and gutter cleaning, pressure washing, mirrors, blinds, ceiling fans, light fixtures, chandeliers. Look, if you've got hard-to-reach areas of the house, then you need Just Windows Home Services. Call for a free estimate, 751-3934. That's 751-3934, or get them online at justwindowsmemphis.com. That's justwindowsmemphis.com. All right, welcome back.
Yes, have some.
This is the Nation of Jake on The Voice, FM 107.9, AM 990, online, KWAMTheVoice.com, YouTube, Nation of Jake, one word, run it all together, subscribe to the channel. All right, so yesterday, took my kids to karate before the monsoon started. And so they go do karate. They'll get their padded weaponry, learn how to fight. You know, get all their praise, get their belts. I got a blue belt and a black belt over there at the karate place. Next door to the karate place is an eye doctor. That's not important. Next door to the eye doctor is an ATC Fitness. I do not work out there. Next door to the ATC Fitness is a Dollar Tree. I go there to get snacks. I picked up some beef jerky and some veggie straws and a water. And I walked out of the Dollar Tree, past the ATC Fitness, and I saw a guy in really good shape, wearing a tank top. He was sweating, looks like he works out a lot, and looks like he knows what he's doing. All right, and this guy is taking a break from his workout to have a cigarette. And so anybody who takes a smoke break during a workout, I admire your commitment to both, sir. Anybody who does that. So I got to thinking, what's the guy even doing? I mean, he's going in there and he's working his butt off. I don't know what he's doing, but I think he was doing some cardio. And then he takes a break and then smokes. All right? I'm like, what's the point? What's the point? You're going to go in, you're going to do something healthy, and then come outside and then light up. And I got to thinking about it. This guy looks like he's in better shape than me, so he must know something. And the only thing I could put together is that the cardio's not challenging enough for him. So he goes to the gym and he can just run all day long and he's not burning any calories. His heart's not working hard enough. So he needs to give himself more of a challenge, and that would be go outside and smoke every so often so that his heart and lungs, his cardiopulmonary system, has more stress put on it so that the cardio that he does, the running that he does, has more of an effect and gets him in fat burning mode faster. It's kind of like when guys go out to like Big Bear Lake and they train at altitude. They train at altitude. You go up to the mountains and the air is thinner, so your body has to work harder, your lungs and your heart and everything, your whole vascular system has to work harder so you get a better result. But if you're at sea level, if you're in Memphis, Tennessee, real flat here, but you want to train at altitude, why am I saying altitude? Altitude, then you want to smoke. So I'm like, yeah, this guy, he's living in 3019. This guy is smart. Because that's what you want to do, is you want to get the hardest workout possible. You want to go out and it's progressive overload, whether it's of your muscle or of your vascular system. So I got to give it to the guy. You know, maybe that's a trend in fitness. Maybe I'll get some fitness guru on to try to confirm or debunk that theory. You know, instead of getting one of those masks the guys train with, he's just doing it 50s style, you know, adding resistance to your cardio workout by smoking in between miles. All right. Coming up, we got a debate tonight in America. What's at stake in these debates? CNN's getting us ready for it. It's so hilarious. They've got the fun facts about all the candidates, and I'm telling you right now, these facts are not that fun. It's coming up next in the Nation of Jake.
Serving Tennessee, Mississippi, and Arkansas. The latest news stories are here. This is KWAM Memphis.
This is CBS News on the Hour. Real news, real reporting.
I'm Jim Sheneby. A U.S. Air Force general nominated to be the military's number 2 commander went before the Senate Armed Services Committee this morning, defending himself against sex allegations.
General John Hyten was accused by his former aide of making a series of unwanted sexual advances.
As has been discussed, I'm intensely aware of the allegations made against me concerning one of the most serious problems we have in the military, sexual assault. It has been a painful time for me and my family, but I want to state to you and to the American people in the strongest possible terms that these allegations are false.
Senator Martha McSally, a former fighter pilot who says she has suffered sexual assault in the past, supports Hyten.
I didn't take coming to this conclusion lightly. I knew the message it could send to sexual assault survivors who haven't seen all the information on the case that I have.
Hyten has been nominated to be the vice chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Cammie McCormick, CBS News, the Pentagon.
President Trump, facing accusations he is a racist, wasn't backing down today from criticism of Maryland Congressman Elijah Cummings in his home district.
So there's no strategy. It's very simple. And Elijah Cummings is in charge of it. And he ought to take his oversight committee and he ought to park him in Baltimore.
A new poll found 51% of respondents think the president is racist. Investigators probing Sunday's shooting at that garlic festival in Gilroy, California, still searching for a motive. CBS's Jamie Yukas.
Investigators say 3 weeks ago, the suspect legally purchased an AK-47 style assault rifle in Nevada. Sunday afternoon, he walked about a half mile from his car to the festival, where he cut through a fence. That day, he had posted at least 2 images to Instagram, one showing the fairgrounds and another that referred to an author with white nationalist views and contained a derogatory reference to mixed-race people.
There was a shooting at a Walmart in South Haven, Mississippi. A disgruntled worker opening fire, killing 2 co-workers and wounding a police officer before he was shot and taken into custody. Police Chief Macon Moore.
These people were doing the same thing that you and I do every day. Showing up for work in an attempt to provide for their families, and they became victims of a senseless, violent act.
A hacker broke into systems used by Capital One Financial and obtained credit card application information on about 106 million people. Correspondent Anna Werner.
The woman the FBI says is responsible for the hack, Paige A. Thompson, a former software engineer for Amazon. She's been charged with computer fraud and abuse after authorities say she bragged about the hack online.
On Wall Street right now, the Dow down 21 points, the Nasdaq off 10, and the S&P has given back 6 points. This is CBS News.
The CBS World News Roundup Late Edition with Jim Sheneby.
President Trump held a series of meetings today on the border wall.
Every weeknight on the CBS Radio Network.
Have you racked up more than $10,000 in credit card debt? Are you struggling to make the minimum payments? There are ways to get out of debt, but the credit card companies don't want you to know about it. Debt relief programs through United Debt Counselors can help people like you get out of credit card debt and put you on the path of debt freedom with just one low monthly payment program. Get started right now and call United Debt Counselors at 800-611-9060. Get rid of the stress of struggling to make that monthly payment. High interest rates will be a thing of the past, and chances are you won't have to pay the entire amount you owe. United Debt Counselors has helped thousands of people reduce more than $160 million of debt. You have a right to settle your debt for less than what you owe. You won't have to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan. Get started reducing your debt now. Get free information today by calling United Debt Counselors at 800-611-9060. That's 800-611-9060. United Debt Counselors. Not available in all states.
Well, you won't be able to take those little bottles of shampoo home from some hotels anymore.
I'm Vicky Barker in London, the owner of the Holiday Inn and Intercontinental Hotel chains, saying goodbye to those little plastic mini bottles of shampoo and body lotion. The chains are switching over to bulk-size bathroom amenities. All 843,000 hotel bathrooms in some 5,600 hotels worldwide will be plastic-free by 2021.
Cambodia has joined the growing list of nations shunning U.S. plastic recyclables. A local company, Chung Yuen Plastic, has been ordered to pay a fine of more than $250,000 for importing some 7 dozen shipping containers of plastic waste from the U.S. and Canada, and will face criminal charges if that waste is not shipped back to its origin countries before August 24th. Now, U.S. recyclers are desperate to find companies willing to take our plastic waste since China barred imports of nearly all foreign plastic early last year. Jim Sheneby, CBS News.
President Trump defines leadership. The first major tax reform in 30 years. Unemployment at an 18-year record low. Jobless claims lowest since 1973. The Dow Jones highest in history. Memorialize these milestone achievements from a historic presidency with the Trump 2020 Freedom Coin from Noble Gold. On one side, an image of Donald J. Trump. The other side lists all his major achievements. The commemorative 1-ounce coin is the only presidential Trump coin made of 99.9% silver, not silver-plated, and it's IRA approved. As the price of silver rises, so will the value of these coins. These silver coins are less than $40 each and are a perfect gift for anyone. For a limited time, go to TrumpCoin2020.com. Use the code AMERICA to get $5 off each coin you order. Go to TrumpCoin2020.com and get your commemorative 2020 Freedom Coin today. Remember to use code AMERICA for $5 off each coin. That's TrumpCoin2020.com.
Jake's my boy.
That's a real shame when folks be throwing away a perfectly good white boy like that.
Welcome to the Nation of Jake on The Voice, KWAM, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
Welcome back to it.
Yes, have some.
It's the Nation of Jake on The Voice, FM 107.9, AM 990, online, KWAMTheVoice.com, streaming live on the YouTube. Just go find Nation of Jake on YouTube. I'll be there. I am en route to YouTube stardom. Hopefully I can just be one of those YouTube guys with 1 billion followers, put up a video and be monetized, and then plan my family's future with the proceeds. Until then, I'll be grinding it out here on The Voice until I get traded. The radio trade deadline, we will go over some of the likely destinations for some of the movers and shakers in Memphis radio. A lot of rumors out there. You know, people right now, big baseball fans, are refreshing their Twitter feed, looking for news. Will the Braves get a big bat? Will they get some pitching help? I don't know. I haven't even watched the Braves this year. I know they've got some pretty good players. They're doing all right. They will be buyers at the deadline. Will the Yankees get an ace or a closer? Do they need any of those things? I don't know. I don't know who needs what. I've been out of the loop with the baseball trade stuff, but I'm all over the radio trade stuff, okay? If I get traded, I've got a couple of destinations I'd be into, and I've got some that I refuse to play. We'll get into the radio trade rumors coming up in a little bit. We've already covered the hashtag equal pay debate with the U.S. women's soccer team because U.S. Soccer's come out and said, hey, look, the men get paid less than women. And so if anybody's got a beef, it should be the men. All right. And then we've also covered all the Baltimore news for today. The president is still beefing with Representative Elijah Cummings of the House Oversight Committee over Baltimore. That's right, over Baltimore. That's where the debate is now. Baltimore is infested with rats, is crime-ridden and corrupt. Donald Trump points that out. He attacks a black lawmaker, Elijah Cummings, and everybody thinks Donald Trump is racist because, well, they've already established Donald Trump's a racist, right? Yeah, he thinks that Nazis are good people. He said so many racist things. Just add this to the list of things that are racist that the president has said. At least that's the conventional wisdom, I guess. I just see it as, yeah, Donald Trump, he's even come out and said, I have no strategy on going after Elijah Cummings about Baltimore. I'm just stating facts here. Nothing he said about Baltimore is racist, just to be clear. He said some stuff that kind of teeters on the edge. Not what I would have said. But as far as Baltimore goes, as far as a city that's been run by Democrats for 50 years being a whole, he's absolutely 100% correct. Now, I'm not going to stand behind everything this president says, but it's pretty clear cut that Baltimore is garbage, and everybody knows it, and everybody has said as much. Bernie Sanders said the same. So Bernie Sanders, I think that he's going to be on stage tonight in these debates, and honestly, I don't know how many people know that there's debates going on, with all the Baltimore controversy going on, and Donald Trump has a talent for sucking all the air out of a room, overshadowing anything and everything in the news. So all these candidates, there's like 24 presidential candidates, they're getting no kind of airtime We will not be seeing a repeat of 2016 where these folks get the $2 billion in earned media because Donald Trump is getting all that earned media. He's sucking it all up. So tonight there is a chance for these Democrat candidates to get some airtime. It's going to be during this debate. And every time there's a debate, all the news outlets want to tell you how to watch it. Here's how to watch the debate. And usually it's very simple. Tune in to the channel the debate is on. CNN. It's on there tonight. CNN wants you to watch the debate on CNN. Not sure who else is covering it. I think that Jake Tapper is involved. Don Lemon might be a debate moderator. And I just don't see how you get these guys who are partisan hacks, not so much Jake Tapper as Don Lemon and Anderson Cooper. Those guys should not be involved at all. Anybody who is a personality-driven commentator or has a personality opinion show on any network, whether it's Fox, CNN, MSNBC, doesn't matter, they should not be moderators because you got to be moderate to be a moderator. The fact that NBC had Rachel Maddow and Chuck Todd and all those guys in that last debate, that was a joke. And CNN is putting Don Lemon in there, I believe. And Don Lemon he's an outspoken critic of the president. He is a dyed-in-the-wool Democrat. It's just like, come on, man. Don't you have just any news people anymore? Answer's no. The answer's no, because this is news entertainment. Okay, so how to watch the debate. 6 things to watch on night 1 of CNN's Democratic presidential debate in Detroit Rock City. Detroit Rock City, here's another one. There's another one of those cities run by Democrats, went bankrupt. The second round of Democrat debates kicks off Tuesday night in Detroit with the primary's leading progressives, Senators Bernie Sanders of Vermont and Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts, sharing a stage with a handful of their most vocal moderate rivals. So they've already drawn the lines. You got your far leftists, Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren, and then these other moderates, which, honestly, they're not that moderate. Senator Amy Klobuchar, Governor John Hickenlooper, Mayor Pete Buttigieg, they're not moderates. By comparison, maybe. They're not card-carrying socialists, is what they mean by moderate. But Pete Buttigieg, this guy wants to eliminate the Electoral College. That is not a moderate stance. That's a far leftist progressive stance. So they will be at the Fox Theater in Detroit. It's kind of funny. CNN is hosting a debate in a venue called Fox. Come on. You could have picked a better place. How about Cobo Hall in Detroit? Yeah, like Kiss used to play. That'd be great to have some of Detroit's finest. Ted Nugent, Gene Simmons, show up at the debate and maybe play the pre-party. Never happened. Maybe Eminem. Now this debate will have Sanders and Warren. They will have Buttigieg and Hickenlooper there and Klobuchar, the moderates. But this is also going to be a big time for Beto. Beto O'Rourke. He is floundering, man. He's 1-2% in the polls. This guy was the golden boy. He ran against Ted Cruz. Oprah wanted him to run for president. Everybody said, Beto, Beto, Beto. Vanity Fair has him on the cover. And he wrote his Vision Quest blog from the sunken place. This guy has just been tanking. So Beto will be there. John Delaney will be there tonight. And so, look, this is how to watch these debates. The best way to watch the debates is to tune in and then get on Twitter and make jokes. That's it. Right there. Or, you can soak in some of the analysis, the real-time analysis on the Twitter. That's the best thing about Twitter. Twitter is a cesspool mostly of people going out and insulting other folks is really what it is. People arguing. But it can be beautiful at times. For instance, CNN tweeted out this gem. Now, CNN, they want to tell you how to watch the debate. They want to draw the lines for you and set up all the drama because this is, again, political entertainment, news entertainment. It's not news. They don't want you to just tune into the debate to hear the ideas. They want to shape the debate and feed you the narrative. That's what they want to do. Otherwise, it's, hey, we have a debate on, tune in, vote for who you like, support who you want. Instead, they got to tell you, how progressive this guy is and how they'll be flanked by moderates. And then Beto, this could be his chance to break out, sink or swim. This could be Beto's last debate, maybe ever. Hopefully it is. But now they've got this. 20 things you didn't know about the Democratic candidates debating this week. Fun facts about Democrat candidates. Here we go. Are you ready for these fun facts? They're so much fun. How about this? Michael Bennett. That's right. Michael Bennett's running for president. That's a fun fact. That's just it. I didn't know he was involved still. Michael Bennett was born in New Delhi, India. His father, Douglas Bennett, was working as an aide to the U.S. ambassador at the time. Oh, it tells me so much about the guy, doesn't it? He was born in New Delhi. Did he ever take any kind of detour to Pankot Palace, where he was served chilled monkey brains, or snake surprise, or soup with eyeballs floating in it? Nothing like that? No fun stories from India? Did they make him make manhole covers? Have you ever seen manhole covers being made? They're made in India. Like New York City manhole covers. They're made by children in India. Children with molten metal are pouring these rivers of metal down into a mold in the sand and running around barefoot. That's because it's cheaper to do that than it is to make them here. It's unbelievable. See, that is more of a fun fact, is that New York City manhole covers are made by children in India, where Michael Bennett was born. Here we go. Joe Biden. You want a fun fact about Joe Biden, other than that he's a plagiarizing, lady-sniffing flip-flopper? Joe Biden loves Corvettes and still has a 1967 green Corvette Stingray his father gave him as a wedding present. In 2016, he drag raced his Corvette against former Secretary of State Colin Powell's 2015 Corvette for an episode of Jay Leno's Garage. That's right. Joe Biden loves Corvettes. He's a 76-year-old man who loves Corvettes. They might as well have just said, fun fact, Joe Biden has a small penis. Bill de Blasio. Here's a fun fact about old Bill. Bill de Blasio hasn't always been Bill de Blasio. No. He was born Warren Wilhelm Jr. and changed his name twice. Once in 1983 to Warren de Blasio Wilhelm, and then once more in 2002 to Bill de Blasio. You got to wonder about a guy who's changing his name multiple times for seemingly no reason. What? Was there a reason? Was he on the lam? Was he wanted? How much plastic surgery has he had? If your name is Warren Wilhelm Jr., Warren Wilhelm, why would you change your name? Warren Wilhelm is way better a name than is Bill de Blasio. I would much rather be Warren Wilhelm than Bill de Blasio. You gotta question that guy's judgment. Cory Booker. Cory Booker, a Baptist, was co-president of La Shame Society, a Jewish group at Oxford. He later co-founded a Jewish group at Yale Law, which is kind of creepy and strange, isn't it? He's got some sort of fixation on Jews. Steve Bullock. Long before he became a governor, Steve Bullock used to deliver newspapers down the street from the governor's office in Helena, Montana when he was a child. He had a paper route. That is so fun. Pete Buttigieg. Pete Buttigieg plays the piano, guitar, and several instruments, including the didgeridoo. Didgeridoo? A long wooden trumpet believed to have originated by indigenous Australians in northern Australia. Didgeridoo is kind of like this circular breathing thing. It's like this big weird horn. It's kind of like the Ricola horns. Ricola! It looks like that, except you just kind of play like, that's what it sounds like. Can we get some didgeridoo music, G-Man? Some didgeridoo music? I could probably look it up. We'll figure that, but more like a didgeridoo. I've seen these things being played, and I've heard them. It's pretty stupid. It's kind of like you would see a guy wearing Birkenstocks in a drum circle. One guy would show up with a didgeridoo. And somebody's like, oh, man, like the Aborigines, man. That's so aboriginal. It's like the guy at a fish show plays the old vacuum cleaner. Stupid. Julian Castro was a sports fan and participant as a kid. He collected trading cards and played tennis in high school. That's the most fun thing you got about Julian Castro. Tulsi Gabbard. This is fun. Tulsi Gabbard is a goofy-footed surfer, which means she surfs with her right foot forward. Most people surf with their left foot forward or regular stance. See, that's a good way to slip it in there. She's from Hawaii, and she surfs. She actually seems like a cool chick. Not voting for her, but she seems like she would be cool to hang out with. Kirsten Gillibrand. Okay, we'll get some more of these fun facts a little bit later. They're all unfun. Nobody seems fun. None of them, except for maybe Tulsi Gabbard. I'd go surfing with her. All right, coming up, we've got radio trade rumors. The radio trading deadline is tomorrow, and I've heard some rumors. I've heard some rumblings about where I may end up and where other radio personalities may end up here in Memphis. And we'll get into that next right here in the Nation of Jake.
The Voice, KWAM, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
For baby boomers, here's something to think about. Will you have enough income during your retirement? Are you absolutely sure? Do you understand the difference between growth and income? How about bonds and bond funds? Are you 100% ready for RMDs? Do you have an estate plan? If you've said no to any of these, we can help. Right now, log on to theretirementincomeDoctor.com and tune in our brand new radio show right here, Saturday mornings at 10 a.m.
When's the last time you looked at the windows in your house? Not through the windows, but at the windows. Really looked at them. There's dirt, streaks, buildup, smudges, fingerprints, paw prints, spider webs, dead bugs. There's little white speckles. I have no idea what they are, and who knows what else. Now, cleaning all the windows in your house makes a big difference, but it's also a big job. That's why you need Just Windows Home Services. Just Windows has been taking the pain out of window cleaning since 1992. Just Windows cleans all types of windows, storm windows, screens, skylights, interior, exterior, upstairs and down. Now, I know I told you the company is called Just Windows Home Services, but they do a lot more. Roof and gutter cleaning, pressure washing, mirrors, blinds, ceiling fans, light fixtures, chandeliers. Look, if you've got hard to reach areas of the house, then you need Just Windows Home Services. Call for a free estimate, 751-3934. That's 751-3934, or get them online at justwindowsmemphis.com. That's justwindowsmemphis.com.
For expert service guaranteed, call 866-EXPERTS.
That's the number that could save you up to 30% on your energy bills. Call today and Service Experts Heating and Air Conditioning will hook you up with an AC tune-up. Right now, save $20 on an AC tune-up. Service Experts Heating and Air Conditioning, your hometown Memphis tune-up pros.
Call 866-EXPERTS.
See website for license details.
The special event florist for the Mid-South is Lindoyle Flowers. They are famous for creating incredible floral arrangements and are available to fill even your last-minute needs. From the simple to the magnificent, their staff can create unique arrangements for your special occasion. Flowers always bring a smile, make someone's day, and for fast, convenient delivery, call Lindoyle Flowers today at 901-323-4521 or visit their beautiful new location at 6225 Old Poplar Pike.
Mid-South Calibration in Memphis supports the large number of veterans in the U.S. who suffer from PTSD or other hardships. If you're a veteran in need, the Veterans Crisis Hotline is available at 800-273-TALK or by texting 838-255. Please know that there are people out there who care. This from Mid-South Calibration in Memphis. If you're hearing this message and you reach out to a veteran in need, the life you save may be a friend's, a neighbor's, or a loved one's.
Did Jesus promise to return within the first century generation? Discover why atheists, Muslims, Jews, and even some Christians believe that Jesus is a liar and the Bible is false. Join William Bell for discussion on the end times and Bible prophecy on the All Things Fulfilled Eschatology broadcast Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. on KWAM 990 and FM 107.9. Listen on Facebook at KWAM The Voice.
The Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council present the story of Tom and Levi.
Tom is the smartest man I know. He's been a professor at 2 major universities, been a teacher for over 40 years. One day, he told me that he was having problems in his classes. I think one of the students had asked the question and he didn't remember the answer. And I also noticed that he was letting his class out earlier than they were supposed to let out. And he was telling them that he was doing it as a favor to them, but I think in reality, he just wanted to get out of there. I was really starting to worry because I saw something was wrong.
Levi and I talked about how it would change our lives, but he was there beside me, and my love for him was just immense.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. Visit alz.org/ourstories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
This is Sherry from the 19 Strong Show. The politics in Memphis can be unnecessarily complicated and sometimes just downright shady. On Saturdays, the 19 Strong team works hard to dissect the issues and shed some light on the council and administration's decisions and how they truly impact you and Memphis. Join me and my better half for the latest council news and colorful commentary. On Saturdays at 1, join us for your weekly chat rant right here on KWAM 990.
Welcome back.
Yes, have some.
The Nation of Jake on The Voice, FM 107.9 AM 990, online, KWAMTheVoice.com. Streaming live on the YouTube. You can go to the YouTube channel, very simple, Nation of Jake. And there's a reason that I started the YouTube channel and the podcast, the Nation of Jake podcast, is because no matter where I end up tomorrow or Thursday in advance of the radio trade deadline, you'll always be able to keep up with me no matter where I am. All right? I will not be on this radio station forever. Nobody's on a radio station forever. Okay? Hell, I thought Tom Prestigiacomo was going to be on FM 100 forever. He was there like when I was 12 months old, a year by some people's accounting, all the way till I was like 27. Things change. Things change. People get traded. They move. They move. In this radio trade deadline, you may not hear about the trades, all right, because it's kind of inside stuff, all right? But everybody's on edge. There are some big rumors, some rumblings about some trades going on. Earl, have you heard anything about trades?
Some football trades.
Football trades? What are you talking about? Football trades? Any radio trades? It's the radio trade deadline.
No, I keep hearing you talk about it, but nobody's contacted me.
Well, that's a good and bad sign for you.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. I mean,
all right, I've heard some rumors. I'm getting ready, and these are unsubstantiated rumors, okay? But I think that I may end up on a country station, which means I've got to brush up on my country radio.
You probably need
like
to come
they
up
still
with another name too.
What, Jake?
No,
I was thinking Catfish Jake. No, I got it. If I end up on Kicks 106, I'm gonna be Crouton Judd. How about that for a radio handle for a country station? It's perfect.
I think Bubber would be
Bubber.
better.
You could be Bubber.
I think it would be
you
Bubber.
could be Crouton Judd and Bubber
Hey,
in the morning.
Earl's pretty country.
Earl's
himself.
pretty country. Yeah, I think that Crouton Judd though, that's probably tops as far as, and those country guys have some real stupid names, real dumb. I think Crouton Judd fits right in with them. And so I was thinking, look, I haven't listened to country music since the early 90s. All right, so I don't know what they play on country music anymore, but country music radio.
What have you been listening to?
I listen to rock and roll, Earl. I listen to rock and roll and metal, but I listen to country music, and I could do this. If you hear a country song, he's got to say something like, Moo moo, buckaroo. Get ready for 52 minutes of non-stop country. That's right, both kinds, country and western on US 45. Today's best country.
Too fast.
All right, yeah, I guess you're right.
You gotta slow her down a little bit.
Slow her down a little bit? Okay, why don't you try it, Earl? We'll do the same song. We'll Chattahoochee. You talk up this record. Are you ready? In 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. You're talking country at its best. And now, whatever the hell the name of this song is coming out to you.
All right, that's not bad. I mean, you got to know the name of the song, though, don't you?
Nah.
That's Alan Jackson's Chattahoochee, man.
It's country. We're forgiving.
All right, I like the Moo Moo Buckaroo. All right, here we go. Ooh, doggy, saddle up, cowboy. That's right. Get your lasso, get your spurs on, and pull this one in. It's Alan Jackson's Chattahoochee on US 99, today's best country. Yeehaw! That's good.
You sound like Hillary Clinton going, I know why you're tired.
Yeah. I know why he's tired. That's not how country people sound, by the way. You listen to country radio, it's all pop radio. So that's kind of what I've been doing with my afternoon while we've been cutting away to the old commercials. I've been practicing up because who knows what's going to happen on the radio trade deadline. I mean, I think I've pretty much nailed my country audition, so I'm almost certain that the guys over at Kicks 106 are looking into getting me part of their organization. I can't see why they wouldn't.
Well, I can't either.
Other than the fact that they haven't played Alan Jackson in 20 years on the old radio. I like Alan Jackson, though. This is what I've heard, all right? I'm not going to divulge my sources, Earl, but I've heard that Ron Olson is headed back to K97 Jams. All right? People don't know that, but Ron Olson used to be on K97 Jams. Back in the day, I guess it wasn't called Jams, but he was on K97. And that deal is going to send Devin Steele, who calls himself the president of afternoon radio, to FM 100. That is going to be, it's going to send shockwaves into the radio landscape. Big giant fissures. I mean, the kind that you see, when King Kong comes to town. Breaking wide open. Like during Ghostbusters 2. All right, so Ron Olson is going to K97 Jams, which they don't call Jams anymore. But he's going back. G-Man, here, our very own G-Man. Did you hear this? He's going to be dealt to K-Love for a Christian to be named later. That's right. G-Man is going to K-Love. I cannot wait to hear. I mean, he's going to do mornings over on K-Love. Praise the Lord. Earl Farrell, I'm sorry to say, Earl, you have been named.
Traded?
Well, you've not been traded yet, but you're likely to go to 98.1 The Max.
Well, I am.
You're going to the rock station, bud.
I didn't say I didn't like rock. I just said
I know,
I'm
yeah.
more of a country guy.
More of a country guy, a little bit country, a little bit rock and roll.
That's right.
So you're going over there, but here's where the milk turns sour. You're being traded for a new mixing console and 3 headphone adapters. You're just going over there for some equipment. All right, so I don't know. Good luck. Good luck with you over at your new gig over at the Max. You got to smoke pot over there, by the way. You got to smoke weed, and you have to listen to Inagata DeVita at the rock station. All right.
I have to wear an AC/DC shirt.
Let's get you an audition. Let's do some Iron Butterfly. Iron Butterfly. Let's get some Inagata DeVita going. And you just introduce, this is Inagata DeVita. All right, so you're going to introduce this one. Oh, you're going to introduce this one. Go.
8:47 in the morning. You're listening to 98.1 The Max. And now, the greatest song on earth, Inagata DeVita.
Damn, that was awesome. Yes. My man, Earl, you're a natural. Got to get you over there. You could have gone way longer. What's going on? George, hey, come on in here, George. We got to talk to you.
I think
the
George,
radio.
George has been traded too.
Let's go, George. The radio trade deadline. Can you?
I've been hearing rumors.
Can you confirm any of these rumors going on? We got Earl is going over to 98.1 The Max.
Had to sign a non-disclosure. I'm not able to.
Oh, this is garbage.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can't.
But
you
know
can't
how it
not
is.
disclose.
But
You can't walk in
you're
here.
Getting pretty close.
Oh, really? So Earl's going to the rock station? He's going to. Are you going to throw in some weed so he can get high and listen to some Iron Butterfly?
He's a big boy. He knows how to find it.
All right. The blockbuster deal, though, is this mixed media trade. Now, have you heard about this? We've got Fox 13. Yeah, the TV guys are getting involved here. They're sending Daryl Green and Joey Sullipak to WRVR. And Fox 13 is getting Dennis Fuller. And then they're gonna hire Janice Full of Love to have Fuller and Full of Love in the morning on WRVR.
Well, it sounds good.
Well, yeah, and Karen Perrin is going to move to midday,
Make
I
a
believe.
good jingle.
Right, so, and then...
Hey, this is a shake-up.
Merle Purvis is coming here. And if Merle Purvis comes here to do radio, she's got to be on my show.
I mean, she'll have to get up early.
Right. Well, no, she was midday.
Midday.
Jake and Merle, Merle and Jake. She can have top billing. I love Merle Purvis. So if Merle can come over here and do radio with me, we're Twitter buddies. We go back and forth. So this is going to be a wild deadline tomorrow. You're going to see a flurry of deals. George, can you give us any indication of what you're thinking here? What kind of moves you would make if you had like the all-star, open bank account, sign somebody to a long-term deal? Who is the one personality in Memphis radio you would love to have on The Voice? Just anybody.
That's not already here.
They're all here.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
thinking.
my team is here.
That is such BS.
Yeah.
You are lying.
Well, the really good ones are.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's
Hey,
no doubt. He's
we
happy
might-
with what he's
we
got,
might
but come
put,
on.
Ben Ferguson on the weekend.
Give him a weekend gig?
Yeah.
Sure, he'd love
A
that.
late night weekend.
Tried that before, haven't you? All right. So
You like them apples, man.
radio trade
Right.
deadline. We need to get, I think, Earl, we need to get you another rock song, too, to talk up here. Let's
Crank
see.
it up.
Let's get some AC/DC going, okay? Let's go and get you another AC/DC song for your gig, because I think that George has tipped his hand. I think you're off to the max. So we need to give you some kind of intros on Highway to Hell. I think we're good. Here we go. Earl, take it.
259 Nitty Gritty City. Woohoo! Coming at you now from AC/DC. My burial song, Highway to Hell!
Yeah, I would listen to you. I would listen to Earl on his rock show.
Cranked it up.
Let's go. All right. Enough of that nonsense. I mean, it's for real. The radio trade deadline is happening as we speak. George, I can't believe you're not just furiously texting right now. I gave a fantastic country demo out there for everybody to hear, so I'm almost certain you'll be hearing from our friends from The Wolf and our friends from Kicks. They're going to want me on their airwaves.
I don't think Wolf would probably want that. They're
Wolfman Jake, are you kidding me? They absolutely want Wolfman Jake or Crouton Judd, whichever you prefer. All right, coming up, we got some headlines to get to. We're going to do it on the news cruise, and we'll do it next right here in the Nation of Jake.
The Voice, KWAM, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
CBS News update. He's nominated to be the vice chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, but Air Force General John Hyten has some baggage, accusations of sexual improprieties from a former aide. At today's hearing before the Senate Armed Services Committee,
there was a very extensive, thorough investigation that Dr. Wilson described, which revealed the truth. Nothing happened, ever.
Among Hyten's defenders at today's hearing, Senator Martha McSally, a former fighter pilot who's publicly described her own sexual assault.
The truth is that General Hyten is innocent of these charges. Sexual assault happens in the military. It just didn't happen in this case.
And the matter was investigated and found insufficient evidence to warrant any charges. Former Air Force Secretary Heather Wilson.
This investigation was thorough, and the allegations were taken seriously, and it was handled appropriately.
CBS News update. I'm Jim Shenleve.
Planning for retirement can be confusing and overwhelming. Tune in to the Servant Retirement Show to hear the current news and events today's retirees need to know. Every Saturday morning at 8 on KWAM, The Voice, AM 990. If you want to talk to Dan Groban or Philip Menard today about your retirement plans, call the team at Servant Advisors Group, 855-260-1000. That's 855-260-1000. Get started on the path toward a comfortable retirement today. 855-260-1000.
When you're planning an event and need on-time delivery, call Odell Sanders. Sanders Catering has been in business for 31 years, specializing in breakfast, lunch, dinners, corporate, and social events. When you need a caterer to work with your budget, call Odell Sanders at 901-372-2631 or visit them online at sanderscatering.com and take a look at their menu. Sanders Catering, a leader in catering services. Call today at 901-372-2631.
I talk with healthcare professionals to bring you the latest wellness information Tuesdays and Thursdays on Live Life Well. Listen in and get tips like this to help you get started on your road to wellness.
The highest hurdle most of us ever get over is getting started on doing something every day. Start with a 5-minute walk every day. Have some comfort close by bedside. Jump on your treadmill, your stationary bike, or your sidewalk. Do 5 minutes and then go take a shower and get ready for your morning.
I'm Bernadette Davis, and I've got you covered every Tuesday and Thursday on Live Life Well. Listen in during the Mary Beth Conley Show, streaming live on KWAM The Voice.
This is Clark Howard. You want an example of how broken medicine is in the United States? Just look at what's happening to people who have diabetes, where the cost of insulin in the United States is being manipulated higher and higher and higher by the drug manufacturers. So much so that this summer there was a highly publicized caravan of Americans who traveled to Canada to buy insulin for a tiny fraction of what the cost of insulin is here in the United States. I'm stunned that there are fellow Americans who are diabetics, that insulin is a life-saving med for them, that are not able to buy and take their insulin because of the run-up in cost. We in the United States have got to fix this thing. But if you are someone who cannot afford your insulin, know that our neighbors to the north have an adequate supply that's available to you at a much lower price.
Have you heard what President Trump said recently?
Newsmax, you like Newsmax. I like it too.
Now you can watch Newsmax TV and get the truth about Trump from Bill O'Reilly, Mike Reagan, Alan Dershowitz, Pat Buchanan, and more. Newsmax TV is America's fastest-growing cable news channel, now in 70 million homes. Find Newsmax on DirecTV, Dish, Xfinity, Spectrum, Optimum, Fios, Uverse, and more systems. See Newsmax TV today. It's real news for real people.
Hey, Mike, how's the house coming along? Needs a ton of work. The pipes are leaking. Needs a new roof. The AC just broke. I just don't have time to do it all myself. You know anyone? Oh, just ask Home Advisor. They match you with the best local pros for any home project. Cool. Yeah, you can read reviews and book appointments online. What's it cost? Actually, Home Advisor is always free to use. Nice. I'll check it out.
Go to homeadvisor.com or download the free app.
Home Advisor.
Yeah, all right.
Yes, have some.
Welcome back to it. It's the Nation of Jake on The Voice, FM 107.9, AM 990. Online, KWAMTheVoice.com. Streaming live on YouTube. Nation of Jake on YouTube. Subscribe to it. Podcast forthcoming. This is a song that Earl will have to be talking over coming up when he gets traded to 98.1 The Max. Radio trade deadline. We went over all the potential deals, all the rumors and rumblings that are going on in advance of the radio trade deadline. If you want to catch up with that, then go download the podcast. It'll be up and ready to stream or download right after the program concludes. Now is the time we got to get caught up on some headlines, because for now, we're still doing the news talk thing. All right, we have not been traded. Everybody's staying put for now. In the Nation of Jake.
News. Exciting and new. Come aboard. We're expecting you. The news cruise. Full of exciting news. The news cruise. So relax and kick off your shoes.
Our welcome aboard the News Cruise, brought to you by our friends at Just Windows Home Services. They're online, justwindowsmemphis.com. They can clean windows. They can clean gutters. They can clean ceiling fans and chandeliers. Anything up high that you can't get to, you don't have to get high. They'll do it for you. All right? Just Windows Home Services, 751-3934. That's 751-3934. You call them, get a free estimate. And when they give you that estimate, you say, hey, I want 20% off because I heard about you on the Nation of Jake. And they will do it. They'll say, you got it, sir, or ma'am. Or they'll use whatever non-gender binary, whatever that is, non-gender specific pronoun that you prefer. That's just what they do. They're courteous. So, 751-3934. So, the number one story here locally, also trending nationally, is that a Walmart employee in South Haven at the store on Goodman Road entered the premises early Tuesday and opened fire. Now, this was a disgruntled employee who allegedly pulled a knife on a customer the day before. He was either suspended or fired for pulling a knife on a customer and then returned to shoot up the place. We have some eyewitnesses. One of them, and this was interesting, a gentleman named Ron Cox, I believe, who was there at about Phil Cox is his name. Phil was there just after 6:30 at the self-checkout. He witnessed the shooting, but he said that he didn't himself feel threatened because it seemed like the shooter was going after employees. So we have what is a case of a disgruntled former employee seeking some sort of twisted revenge on his employer. Darren Musselwhite, the mayor of South Haven, He said that they had just been running these active shooter drills some 2 weeks earlier. They got the call for an active shooter situation at about 6:33 a.m. 60 employees were in the store. They began to seek the suspect. South Haven police, an officer engaged the suspect, striking him twice with gunfire. The Shelby County Bomb Squad was also called in because of a suspicious package found in the store. So this is an awful situation for the two victims involved here in this disgruntled employee shooting. But this is also trending news now because it comes on the heels of another active shooter situation in Northern California. This one's very different than that one. These are all different. Anytime you read about these stories, a shooting, and shootings happen all the time, especially in places like Memphis. We read about people who were shot and killed. Well, when it happens in bad neighborhoods, we just gloss over, gang violence, it's just, those people, right? Which doesn't sit well with me. They should all be covered the same way, shouldn't they? I mean, you've got these active shooter situations or mass shootings, but I read all the time a guy goes into a nightclub and shoots a couple of people. How is that different than a mass shooting at a Walmart or somebody's place of business or a school? It's all about motive. Honestly, we know the motive here. It kind of takes the mystery out of it. We don't know the motive of the Northern California Garlic Festival shooting up in Gilroy, California. We don't know the motive, so everybody's just kind of still trying to make sense of it. Not that it makes sense, but when you know that the motive is a disgruntled employee, you kind of have an idea of how that played out. It takes the mystery out of it, makes it a little less scary. Not to say that it's less sad, less tragic, less atrocious. It's all of those things. That said, I still, the question I have is, if this employee pulled a knife on a customer the day before, why wasn't he arrested for that? You're not allowed to pull knives on people. There was an opportunity there to maybe get this guy some sort of help if he had anger issues, lock him up, let him cool off, and figure it out. And maybe that would have cut down on the possibility of him coming back with a gun to his workplace, because people died in this situation. It's awful story. We've got Tennessee Representative David Kustoff says he will not run for an open Senate seat. Lamar Alexander will not be running for re-election. Therefore, there will be an open Senate seat, presumably for a Republican here in the state of Tennessee, the deep red state of Tennessee. But David Kustoff will not be running for it. And here's why. It's because with the Tennessee GOP, there is a pecking order. U.S. Ambassador to Japan, Bill Hagerty, he is stepping down from his post as ambassador to Japan, presumably to run. And he's going to be the guy. And when you talk to people who were involved, they'll say things like, if Hagerty doesn't want it, then Kustoff is the guy. But apparently Hagerty does want it, so Kustoff is going to stay where he is because there's an overarching force that says, hey, here's where we need you. It's not your turn. Hold on. So it's not like this decision is Kustoff's and Kustoff's alone. He could, I guess. He could break rank and run if he wanted to, but that might ruffle some feathers of people within the GOP. We've got a couple of doctors who are running. GOP Knoxville Dr. Josh Gapp, along with trauma surgeon Manny Sethi, are going to run against Bill Hagerty there. We'll see how that works out. This is odd. This is a situation that is kind of scary. Somebody is asking Memphis residents for their DNA, and it could be a scam. Kathy Albright answered her door in her South Memphis neighborhood and found herself on the other end of a proposition. The person who knocked on her door Friday, a white middle-aged man dressed in hospital scrubs, told Albright that he was gathering DNA samples from anyone interested in participating in a clinical research study. A quick swab of the inside of Albright's mouth, the man said, could be used to test her for a pre-existing cancer gene. He asked me if I ever lost a family member to cancer, Albright told the Commercial Appeal, and then he told me it would take just a quick swab to test me. And she said, no, I said, no, you're not swabbing me. I don't know anything about you. And then the man left. Look, if somebody comes to your door wanting to swab your mouth for DNA, he's a creep. Number one, And the only way that I would suggest you deliver the DNA to that person is by spitting in their face. Say, you want my DNA? There you go. And just spit in their face. Don't go doing this. And I still think that the whole 23andMe, Ancestry.com, spit in this cup and will tell you where you're from is kind of creepy and goofy. We've got some more details about Jerry Lawler in his wrongful death suit against Hardeman County, the Hardeman County Sheriff John Doolin and others for their alleged failure to protect his son, Brian Lawler, who was found dead in a jail cell. Brian Lawler died a year ago, was found hanging in an isolated cell in the Hardeman County Jail. Jerry Lawler, his father, has questioned whether the death was in fact a suicide. Jerry Lawler is seeking $3 million in compensatory damages. He's also seeking punitive damages in an amount to be determined by the jury for what the firm of Rosenbaum and Reisman called numerous failures on the county and its employees that resulted in the wrongful death of his son. And there are details that are pretty deep. Again, we talked about it yesterday. The number one responsibility of law enforcement when they have somebody in custody is to keep that person safe. Now, from what I understand, Brian Lawler had a lot of problems with drugs and alcohol and medical conditions, and if he was not, if those were not considered, in that he committed suicide or hurt himself in the cell, which led to his death, then there could be a case here. At least Jerry Lawler thinks so. There was a press conference where a lot of the details were uncovered yesterday. Hey, somebody vacationing over in Arkansas at that Crater of Diamonds State Park in Murfreesboro. 36-year-old Josh Lanick, a teacher from Nebraska, he found a 2.12 carat diamond. All right, and I don't know what it's worth. They say it is a brown in color, the size of a jelly bean, and that it's got a natural pear shape and it's smooth. But I've never been over there. Have you ever, Earl? Have you ever gone to dig for diamonds over there?
I've driven by the exit for it, but I've never gone there. But Valerie Calhoun actually found a diamond over there.
Yeah.
Her and her son Bo and John, her husband.
Bo Calhoun.
Bo Calhoun.
He's going to be a coach. He's going to be
pretty good ball player.
Baseball coach, Bo Calhoun. Okay, so he found a diamond?
They did.
All right. How big was it? How did they get some cash?
I think they kept it as a souvenir. Right?
Okay. Well, this guy's diamond, I ran it by a jeweler buddy of mine, Ed Harris Jewelry. Ed says brown diamond, 2.12 carats. If it's highly included, if it's got a lot of flaws, about $1,000. But he said if it's depending on the clarity, then it could be up to $3,000 to $5,000.
Wow.
But he said but a raw diamond, he said it's iffy. So it could be a nice little payday for the guy. He says for now, though, he's going to keep it. But I want to go there, man. I love all that mining and diamond stuff. I can just go look for stuff for days.
I remember one time I was, this was years ago, in Overton Square, and I was across the street one Sunday afternoon, late Sunday, it was Sunday, because I remember all the stores that closed. I couldn't get it appraised. I found a diamond ring in the street.
Oh, yeah?
All night long, I'm thinking, man, I have hit the jackpot.
Did you keep it?
I took it to the jeweler the next day. How much you get for it? They go, sir, this is costume jewelry.
Oh, it's just costume jewelry. Yeah. Cubic zirconian.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there's your news cruise. We're going to wrap things up with more fun facts about the Democrat presidential field debating tonight. That's right. CNN wants you to know all about these folks, and they've compiled fun facts, some of which are fun, others are decidedly unfun. We'll get into that and wrap things up. Hand you over to Earl Farrell coming up next right here in the Nation of Jake.
The Voice, KWAM, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
If you're thinking about buying or selling a home, stop. Don't do anything until you talk to my